Hi everyone! It's time to show you everything which I colored in August, everything which I have finished, pictures which I have started. Honestly, I still can't believe that summer is over and that today is the first day of fall. Even if summer was strange, without usual holidays, without any travels, still I enjoyed summertime and I would wish to have another month of summer. But still, let's talk about August. In August, I had several very positive coloring moments. I got wonderful presents, some very nice art supplies and coloring books, and they motivated me, they got me a lot of inspiration. Also, I am proud that during August I managed to finish several pictures which I started in May or in June, and in the beginning I had difficulties with those pictures, but after some break in August I finally managed to finish them. And also, apart from books which are comfortable for me, like books by Teresa Goodrich or Kanoko Egusa, in August I managed to color in the books which were slightly abandoned, not so often used for me, and I also started couple of new books. There were also several not so pleasant moments. In the end of the month I felt like I totally lost my motivation to do videos because of the not very good statistics, and I realized that I simply don't know what to do, how to improve it. But anyway, it's not so important. What is important is that I really enjoyed coloring process, and doing video isn't so important for me. Let's start from these birds. It's a project which I did during the whole summer. It's a freebie pictures by Johanna Basworth from her Flourish book. Everything here I colored with Prismacolors, and paper which I use here is very cheap paper for decoration probably, or for some other things. It's by German brand Falia, and it's available in various sizes and various colors. It's the first time when I try to work on this deep green color, and apart from some yellow and orange colors which behaved a little bit strange on this paper, everything else looked quite nice. I especially love all pastel colors and all colors which are close to white. Picture which I finished in August was this one with apples. I think that it definitely has some August taste because of those apples. I'm a little bit disappointed that this picture has different background comparing to other three pictures, and I realized it only when I finished to do. But apart from it, I'm totally happy how it looks, how the bird look on this very warm yellow-orange background. So I decided that I won't be very disappointed that here I have 3 plus 1. Anyway, I am glad that I finished this project, and I got some nice experience from coloring on this dark green paper. Another picture which I printed was from Country Farm by Teresa Goodrich. I don't own the book, but I have downloaded several of very nice freebie pictures by Dover, and this time I decided to use this cappuccino brown color. It's one of my most favorite colors in the whole color range of Falia paper. I have already tried to color portrait on this paper, and this time I decided to color this happy hen house. But the main difficulty was that all brown green, all brown colors or even warm greens were slightly lost on this paper, and everything looks a little bit darker comparing to the picture which I imagined for myself. But at least white and light colors, like colors which I used for the eggs or for the hen, they look quite nice on this dark background. Here I mixed a little bit of Prismacolors and I also tested Darwin drawings, and drawings also behaved very well. This paper is cheap, but it has nice tools, and as I said, it has nice variety of colors. So from time to time it's very refreshing to work on the toned paper. I realized that when you start to work on the toned paper, you need to do all your swatches. Even if you are familiar with your set of pencils, like I do with my Prismacolors. Even if I have a lot of my favorite color combos of pencils, which work very well on white paper, sometimes on the toned paper, pencils behave totally different, so it's very helpful to do swatches before you actually start coloring on the new color of the paper. Apart from this experience was really very nice. So let's move. And in August I got this new coloring book. It's dedicated to the Zodiac signs. It's my second book by the same artist, by Victoria Klein, and her books are printed on a very good paper. And I do love to color books by Victoria using mixed media, doing background and biggest parts using acrylic paint or sometimes gouache paints, and then working on details using pencils. And the same technique I used here for the Sagittarius. I hope that I pronounced it correctly. But anyway, in the beginning I planned to color lion because I am lion, and of course I wanted to color my own zodiac sign. But in the end I did this Robin Hood. Maybe it's because I indeed watched TV series about Robin Hood before I actually started to do this page, so I decided that it will be my first picture from this book. For the background I used acrylic paints, acrylic gouache, and for the details I mixed Prismacolors, Derwent drawings again, and a little bit of artisan, and all pencils behaved really well here. Next, let's move to the book about Asia. I have dreamed about this book for a long time. Then I got it as a present and I was crazy happy, but I was afraid to start coloring in it. Style of it was a little bit complicated for me, so I definitely hesitated for a long time before I actually started to color in it. But finally, in the beginning of August, I gathered my courage and I did this spread. Maybe the main reason why I finally started to color it is because I purchased new color of the pleasant olive green watercolor, which I found very helpful for the background here. Now when I look at the page, I think that maybe I had to work more on the details on the leaves, or maybe for other elements of the bamboo background. But at that moment I was quite satisfied how everything looked. And when I did this watercolor underpaint for the water, for the bamboo, for other leaves, I also decided that I can do watercolor underpaint for the panda bears. But I forgot where pandas have white areas and where there is black fur. So somehow I managed to cover the whole panda apart from the chest with black paint. And only on the next day, when I properly looked at the reference pictures, I realized that now I have to do something with their heads. So white gouache was extremely helpful, and on top of the black watercolor I painted everything with white gouache, And I think that I got quite nice texture, even if on the screen it's not so visible. In real life there is a visible texture with white fur and very light grey shading. On all other details I worked with pencils, so most of all I was happy here that I finally managed to start this book, and I immediately did another page here. This time I decided that I want to proceed with coloring some small projects, like I did with pictures by Rita Berman, like I colored birds by Johanna Basford. Sometimes when you have limited amount of time and when you still want to have finished project, it's nice to have such small pictures. And here it was also very interesting to learn about all these elements. I won't be pronouncing their names. Of course, I have forget all of them, but when I made videos how I colored all these elements, I tried to include their names and small description about their significance. Anyway, I plan to proceed with all other miniatures here. So I already made a long list of pictures which I want to do in this book, and I highly recommend it. It's not very easy to get, but it has very interesting designs, a lot of landscapes, and I am glad that paper takes watercolor very well, so watercolor is very helpful for huge spreads, and it very interesting for those who love to color ornaments, for those who love to color landscapes, and who love to color people also, architecture. Nice book, and I am glad that I had such a successful start with it. Now let's move to collage art, book which I always love, but unfortunately where I don't color quite often. So I selected a very summer picture here. You know that I love to color mermaids, but this time I think that I have selected this page because of the fishes here. I love how Martin Noble draw flowers, animals, birds and fishes also. They all look very realistic. I really tried to stay in a limited color palette. Maybe it doesn't look so limited, but at least I hadn't used all 150 pencils here. Mostly I used polychromoses, only for the areas with pastel background I mixed Prismacolors. But I would say that for this paper polychromoses provide better coverage. And I do love their blue-green colors, which were very helpful here. Also very helpful was a white Posca, which I used for covering all black lines and for drawing all those small bubbles. I really wanted to do other summer pictures from this book, but unfortunately I didn't have enough time, so it will wait for next summer and I will be looking for autumn projects from this book. It's a pity that it's already is unavailable from the publisher or from Amazon, from other sites, because it's a beauty. Another book which I love, but which I again don't use quite often, is Escape to Oz. When I took this book from the shelf, I planned to do spread with a lion sleeping among poppies, but in the end I have finished with doing 3 spreads and none of them was with lion. It's just me. So when I was looking through the book, somehow this spread got my attention. I realized that I am not very familiar with the part of the book which is about for this spread. So first I read about this country of China people, and then I decided that I want to color it. Usually I am not a person for coloring ornaments, but here somehow I was inspired by the idea of using mostly blue colors to imitate traditional white and blue china. But then, apart from couple of Inktense blue colors, I also added couple of Derwent Graphitint, Aubergine and Juniper, and they provided me with beautiful purple, pink colors because from just two pencils I was able to get very nice variety of hues. It was quick, it was easy. I again used a lot of Posca pens, mostly here in landscapes, and I was so inspired by this spread that immediately after I finished this one, I started another one. But here I decided that I really miss using watercolors. Recently I much more color with regular pencils comparing to watercolors or other mediums to neocolors, and here background, tree, leaves I did with watercolors. On the background I even used granulating watercolors and they helped me to create these beautiful, very atmospheric stains. I am not huge lover of spiders, but I think that here spider looks quite nice. I am glad that I did spider with very light fur. It really helped him to pop up on the dark background. I can't say that I enjoyed a lot coloring all those animals. I mixed color softs, Prismacolors, polychromoses, but I really love the impression of this dark forest, so I love how I did this spread. And after that, the third one was with the scarecrow. Here I used neocolors for the sky, watercolors for the rest of the page, and only for small details like scarecrow and birds, a little bit of mice here, I used polychromoses. Probably this was the quickest one of the three finished spreads, and I'm glad that I managed to add three finished pictures to this beautiful book. Another very proud moment is that I finally managed to finish page from A Villain Sun, and it's a page with mermaid. I started it in May during mermaid, but when I did corals, when I finished to do mermaid, I realized that I'm not very happy with my color choice, mostly for her hair. She was lost on the background, and also I was confused which colors to use for fishes. There are so many of them. I didn't want them to distract attention from the mermaid. So I made break for 2 months and finally now I managed to finish it. It's definitely not my best work, it's far from it, but I am glad that I haven't abandoned it and that I find patience and that I finished it. Comparing to Tomislav Tomic, who is one of my favorite authors of the book, Kanoko Egusa, who is definitely also one of my favorite artists, usually is much easier for me to color. So in August, I proceeded to do my huge project, which I started in the end of June. In July, no, in July. So in the end of July I started to do this fruit and flower market, and during the whole August, step by step from the left side to the right side, I moved with all those characters, all those interesting fruits, flowers, vegetables, all those ducks, mice, kittens. And I hope that during this week or maybe in the beginning of the next week I will finally finish it. It's quite a long project, but so far I am quite happy with the progress. It's also very interesting to color because we have variety of flowers and fruits. Everything is very colorful. Also you can practice how to color wood or how to color metal elements, different types of fur. So it's my work in progress. But it wasn't enough for me, just one work of Kanoko Egusa. So again from the same book, I did another page, this one. Maybe you remember that last month I did a very similar page with a bedtime story, and I wanted to proceed and to color something which is also very cute. Here I started with the idea of this unusual color of the wallpapers, and then step by step I colored the whole cat's family. Look at those cute kittens, look at the grandma, father, mother. So it was a very relaxing, very easy process, and I'm glad that I managed to finish it in August. I hope that in September I also will be coloring also in the Rhapsody, not only finishing the fruit and flower market. So Kanoko Egusa is my must-have book each month. And let's move to another must-have artist, and obviously is Teresa Goodrich. Let me adjust it. So in August I did 2 pages in Main Street. This one I did on my birthday. It's a flower shop. It's a little bit too colorful for my taste, but it was nice to invent all those flowers, all those bouquets. I indeed felt like myself like I'm florist, so it's not so bad. And in the last days of August I also did this bakery. I do love bakeries in real life. Usually when I visit foreign countries, when I visit other cities, I always try to go to bakeries and to taste local breads. So here I decided that I also want to color bakery. Everything is colored with Prismacolors as usual, nothing complicated. Just let me show you closer. Next picture was in country gardens and it was birthday party. Very traditional, a lot of wood, a lot of grass, a lot of leaves, bricks, but to color all yummy things on the table was quite interesting. I have this color along on this channel, so if you're interested, you can color this birthday table together with me. And I do love that sunflowers are like the focal point of the whole picture. And finally, country charm. I wanted to do this page for a long time. I do love to color trains, even if it's not very easy. But here I was really interested in coloring this smoke, this steam around the train. But I was a little bit tired of all those green trees, and I decided to move already to the trees with red and yellow leaves. Maybe they don't look very realistic, but at least they added some difference to the look of the picture. It's already started to look like beginning of the fall season. I hope that you can also see that I try to draw some rays of light coming through the trees, and I am quite satisfied how this picture looked in the end. At least I learned something from this and I know where I need to improve and where I need to move forward. I have at least one or other picture with a train in this book and I definitely will be coloring it also. Another book which I always try to color, maybe not every month, but at least one time in 2 months, so step by step, is Jasmine Beckett Griffiths. This time I had some problems with picture which I selected. I selected it because I wanted to color frogs. I am not a huge lover of frogs, but I wanted to try this color combo of brown, ochre and warm green colors, and only when I finished to do frogs and their wings I realized that I have created for myself huge problem because on the background there are a lot of leaves and they also have to be green. So the rest of the coloring I tried to resolve this problem to select color for the background, color for the stones here and matching color for the dress, for the hair, in order not to lose everything here. I always adore original paintings by Jasmine Beckett Griffiths, and original of these daydreams and frogs is very beautiful, but still I didn't want to repeat. Usually I want to use my own colors, but sometimes it creates me some problems. Anyway, I am quite happy how I managed to resolve all of them. Strangely, but most of all here I love her dress and I love background. This green and turquoise really helped me a lot. So step by step I add finished projects to this book. And finally, the final book which I will be showing you today is a very unexpected one. If you follow my channel for a long time, you probably know that Romantic Country was one of my earliest books. I have purchased it more than 4 years ago, and since that time I haven't finished in it any pictures. I started to color in it when I didn't own Prismacolors or polychromases. I tested watercolors, I tested color softs or budget pencils, and I wasn't happy at all, so I put it away. Then I thought that I'm not such in love with the style of the artist, so for 4 years it was completely abandoned. But recently I got a request to color something in this book, and um, lady informed me that Prismacolors and Neocolors behave really well on this paper, so I decided that it's time to give this book second chance. For the first project I decided that I will be using Prismacolors, and on the next pictures I will be experimenting with Neocolors. So let me represent my first finished picture from a romantic country. I decided that as I am usually quite comfortable with coloring architecture, so this will be a nice choice for the start of this book. I'm not a huge fan that everything here, that all buildings are only for the forefront, that everything looks flat, and I tried to add some volume to the picture. I also tried to draw some very simple things here near the ground. But in the end I am quite pleased both with coloring process and how Prismacolors behaved here, so now I am much more confident and I can say that it definitely won't be my last picture. I'm glad that after 4 years of estrangement from abandonment, we again will be friends with the romantic country. So maybe let me show you some details here carefully. I do love this seafood restaurant more than tea shop, but it was quite nice to color them both. So it was my August. I also started couple of other pictures which I will be finishing during this week. I have a lot of ideas of what pictures I want to print and which pictures I want to try coloring on the toned paper, which pictures have nice fall season designs. So ahead of me I have a long list of pictures which I want to do. I hope that you will be joining me in my color alongs. As usual, thank you for your kindest comments. Thanks to everyone who supported my channel via affiliate links by leaving me very kind and supporting comments, and also huge thanks to everyone who supported my channel on Patreon. So I will see you very soon, and I hope to hear from you which pictures do you like more and which pictures you want to see from me in September. Have a nice beginning of fall season.